Hello, everyone. I'm Yelena. This is our Cognos Analytics session 2. So here is the agenda for tonight. We're going to talk about dashboards, infographics, adding visualizations to the dashboard, filtering dashboards, stories, and of course, how you use Cognos for the group work, okay? And questions and answers. All right, so if you recall, last time we worked with claims and weather data. The data tracks customer information, right, including their state and what type of vehicle the customer drives, a customer insurance coverage, and car accident type, and we use that information to estimate the total claim amount, right? Remember? So here is a partial screenshot of the data. And as you may recall, this is just the summary. What data pre-processing did we do last time? We created the embedded filter to remove the rows missing effective to date, right? So our data had missing values, and we took care of missing values, right? So how did we do that? We removed the rows altogether that were missing effective to dates. Then we took some columns such as income and we replaced the missing value with the column average, right? Same thing, monthly premium we replaced with the column average. Then in the video, I showed you how to replace the missing categorical value, right? We have a categorical column called claim reason, and some of the data is missing value, so we just put other. If the value is missing, we replace it as other. We created selectable filter to allow filtering data to the personal, policy type, and small vehicle size, right? Remember the difference, embedded filter applies right away. Selectable is when you can turn it on and off. What else did we do? We did the total claim amount. We changed the aggregation type to look at the average, right? Because if I want to summarize the total claim amount, I don't care what is the sum of total claim amount per state. What I care about is the average claim amount per state, right? Something like that. Then there is a column called number of policies, which is skewed. So what we did was we binned that column, right? That's just a binning. I'm just reviewing right now, nothing new yet. Okay, then we also looked at data explorations. So if I go back to Cognos, right? This is Cognos. And if I go back to the exploration, this is the claims and weather data exploration. If you notice that, so what was that? The purpose of exploration was just to learn about my data. This is not in presentable view, right? The exploration consists of set of cards. There is no way to select one data point on one card and make the same data point to be selected in other cards. There is no connection between those cards, right? There is no way to define a filter and apply that filter to all cards. There is no way to add widgets. There is no way to modify how the visualizations look like. Like, for example, see this card, it's blue. There's no way to change color, right? So I need something that I can use, something that I can present, right? So that leads us to the next topic, and the topic is dashboards. We create dashboards, as I said, to present our insights about data. So dashboard is a combination of visualizations, and we add the attractive layout where you may change colors, you may change the background colors, right? You can change the visualization appearance properties. Then also visualizations on the same tab are linked. If you use the same data as a source, then the visualizations are linked. You can create one data point, you can select one data point, and the same data point will be selected in other visualizations, which I'll show you. Unlike the exploration, you may add text, you may add images, etc. And you may use visualizations from exploration in the dashboard. You may use visualizations from one dashboard into another. You may toggle between view mode and edit mode, right? Then, similar to the exploration, you may add calculated columns and a navigation path. But please keep in mind, if you add calculations straight to the dashboard, it will not be available if you create another dashboard from the same data source. If you want the visualization, if you want the calculation or navigation path to be available in any dashboard that you create from the same data source, you must create that calculation in a data module, okay? In a data module. All right, makes sense? So now let's create our first dashboard. How do we do it? Well, let's close this first. We navigate to my content, right? Because this is where I saved my data module. So this is my claims and weather data module. What do I need to do? I click here. That opens up the context menu. And I'm going to say create data module. So automatically, I'm sorry, I'm going to say create dashboard, right? Create dashboard. Automatically, this data module will be used as a data source into my dashboard, right? So now what do I see? I have two types of dashboard here, top dashboard and infographics. We're not going to create infographics, but I tell you what it is. Infographics is just nothing but a long page, single page with visualizations. There are no tabs, right? So you can apply filter to all visualizations, right? And it's just a long page. You cannot divide visualizations into tabs, and you cannot export infographics as a story. The reason we're going to use the top dashboard is because top dashboard can be easily exported as a story, and I'll show you how. So what you see here, there are different types of layouts. You have a free-form layout and you have predefined layout. The main difference is that the predefined layout will scale based on your screen size, right? Freeform is not going to scale. Then I can make the visualization, the size is going to be the same as the panel size, right? You have different choices, but I like 2x2 because the more visualizations you have, the longer it's going to take to load, right? So I just select 2x2, and this is going to be the layout of the tab, right? And what I did was here, I spelled it out for you, right? So I select this create dashboard. Then here I spelled out the difference, and both are interactive, right? Just remember that. You may change the visual appeal on both the infographics and the top dashboards, and you may open the data in the view mode, edit mode, right? And you may preview data that is being visualized, and I'll show you, right? This is just about the layout, right? When you have predefined design and you have a free form template. So you use whatever you like, whatever you think is suitable, applicable to your project that you're working on. But just remember, the more visualizations you have, the longer the tab could take to load, right? So now we talk about the dashboard interface. I'm going to select 2x2. So remember, there are some similarities. And what are some similarities? If I click here, see, here, this is my data explorer. I click here. Those are the columns in the data module that I use as a source. Remember our selectable filter? If I did not use the descriptive name, there is no way to tell what this is without going back to data module, right? So then this was, what was that? We created the calculation, right? This is a standalone calculation. What is this? The policy type, we created the data group, right? I created the group. See, this is the policy, number of policies, this is the group. Then this is the average claim amount by policy. Remember, I created this calculation. where I want to track for each data row, I want to track the average claim amount for that policy, right? Then I created the calculation called annual premium info, right? And those are the columns. Different icon indicates different column type, right? Then remember total claim amount. What did I do? Did I change aggregation type to average? And it's average in here because I changed it in the data module. I did not change it just for data exploration. I changed it across the board, right? So this is just here, this is just the data source that you use to create your dashboard. Now here, this is a dashboard name by default. It's calling it new dashboard. We need to save it. If you see the asterisk next to the name, it means that your last change was not saved. So let's go ahead and save it. Where do I save it? I go to my content, right? This is my content. And I want to call it something like claims and weather dashboard, right? I want to use descriptive names. Let's say save. Hopefully, I don't have dashboard with the same name. No, I don't. Right? I saved it. This is a filters area. We're gonna get to filters shortly, but I can expand and collapse, right? What else do I have in here? Undo, redo, right? I can flip between view mode and edit mode, right? So now I've got the properties. The properties that I have available depend on what I have selected. At the moment, I don't have any visualizations. So I'm looking at the properties overall, right? Of the canvas properties. I could change the positioning, right? I could change if I want to show grid or not. I can change the color if I want to. I can change the tabs. For the tabs, I want to change, perhaps I want to change the title color to red. Then I want to show which tab was selected in the green. To see that just shows which tab was selected, etc. I can keep on going, right? I'll let you explore different properties in here. Okay, so those are the properties of the tab, right? Let's save it again. Now, what else you can do? You can add visualizations. How do you add visualizations? You can reuse visualization from data explorations that we created last time. So let's go back to the welcome page. And do you see this? I have, this is recent, it's in recent claims and weather exploration. So let's open it up. And I can reuse, how do I reuse my visualizations? Well, this is a driver analysis and I want to reuse that. So what I can do is I can pin this, right? So I click on this here, this will add a pin. Pin is a bookmark, right? So when I click here on pin, those are the pins that I have. Pin is nothing but a bookmark, right? So now when I return to my dashboard, and notice I'm not using the browser back button. I click here, it will show me everything that's open. I go to claims and weather dashboard. I click on pins and I can reuse my visualization just by drag and drop, right? So I go here, I drag and drop, and when I position the mouse over this arrow, right, I'm gonna make my visualization fit into this panel. You see, that's a total claim amount driver analysis that I did perhaps for the last assignment, right? So then, see, this is another pin that I have. Let's see if it's still working. There we go. This is total claim, average total claim amount by marital status. So I can reuse my pins from last time, right? That's what I'm doing here, basically, right? Also, what you can do is, another way to add visualization is go to, this is the visualization library, right? And I can add, perhaps I want to add the pie chart. I just drag and drop the visualization into a canvas. Now what I need to do, I need to go to my fields, right? And I need to specify, so see this, if you have an asterisk, right, those are called data slot. If you see the asterisk, it means this data slot is required. I need to specify some field here in order to see the visualization, right? Pie chart is suitable for showing the percentages, right? For example, I want to show the percentage of customers by state. How do I do it? Well, my segment is going to be the state, right? So each slice, I want to show the state. So I drag and drop the state in here. Segment size is going to be the number of customers. I'm going to drag and drop the customer here. Then let me see how my data is being summarized. I summarize by count distinct. Why count distinct? Because I want to look at the number of customers. I don't want to look at the number of claims, right? I want to look just the customers, which is good, right? So right now, this pie chart is showing the number of customers by state. But as I said, pie charts are suitable to show the percentages, right? So we can fix it. How do we fix it? We can change the properties, right? I have this visualization selected, and let's minimize that, and let's open the properties window. This is my properties window. Let's see what properties do I have. I'm gonna keep the colors the same. I want to keep my legend as is. I click on a chart, and well, I want to see value labels, but I also want to display the percentages. I'm gonna change it here, see? So now, instead of number of people, I see the percentages, right? Okay, well, I keep it as is. Then I can change my appearance. Perhaps I want to make it look like a donut. It's possible in here, right? So I've got that piece. Now, what else can I change? I can go to appearance. I can change the fill color if I want to, right? I can change the border color. Perhaps I want this border. Now what I want to do, I want to change the title. I can click on show title, and here, let's enter, let's say percentage of customers by state, right? Here it is. Well, what I did, I just changed. Then I can edit the properties of my title. I can do this in a toolbar that I just displayed, or I can also change my properties here. Perhaps I want to make it bigger, right? And I want to center my title, right? Then if I want to, I can change the color, right? I'm just showing you an example of what you can do, and I'm going to let you explore. You can make it bold, well, etc., right? So this is just the pie chart. You can add title, you can change how things appear, see? You could not do that in when we were looking at the explorations. You could not change, right? So now what else I need to do? I need to save it, right? I need to save it. Another thing that you could do, another way to add visualizations is the assistant. Do you remember you have this little guy here, embedded assistant, right? Do you remember I could always type data and see my data sources that are available? See, that's my claims and weather data module. I can click on total claim amount, and I can see the properties. You're familiar with this from last time, right? But those are the interesting fields. See what's you can look at what influences total claim amount, right? Like perhaps I want to see gender and total claim amount. So see, here is my chart. I can scroll through the charts, right? I can look at the different charts that are available, and I can pick any chart that I want to show, and I can drag and drop, right? I can drag and drop. Then what I could also do is I can edit my chart. Like for example, I don't want the blue color. I want purple. I can change colors, right? See, that's a property. The properties are different for each visualization, right? I can disable padding, I can show grid lines, I can show value labels, right? Etc. There are different things I can do. Now, I can click on the visualization that puts visualization in a focus mode, and perhaps I can delete gender, and I can add state instead of gender, right? So here is the state. I can add state. That's a bar plot. Then what I could also do is I could change the color code by, well, country does not make sense because everybody is in the US, right? So perhaps I want to do the color by the policy. See this? So it's gonna put a different bar for policy, right? But I'm still showing the states. Well, I can delete that, remove column, and I want to use the policy type group instead. Let's use the policy type group so that our chart is less cluttered, right? Oh, that's a repeat. See, I have a separate column, right? Or let's move this, let's delete this. See, I remove the column and I'm gonna put it in a color. I'm gonna put it in the color, policy type. I want this to be less cluttered. So what I did was I selected, do you remember last time I created the group, right? Corporate, personal, and special. So I can use that data group here for my visualizations, right? So that's it. What I could also do is I could go, well, let's add a new tab, right? I added a new tab. And for the new tab, I can select any layout that I want. It does not have to be the same, but I stick with 2x2, right? So remember, I specified the tab properties and it applies to each new tab that I created. If I wanted to, I could edit the title, right? I could edit the title, click here to edit the title, right? What else could I do here? I could duplicate the tab and I can change the template at any time, right? I can change my template. Well, what else you can do is you can drag and drop the fields. Well, for example, I drag and drop the state, right? So that's going to show the states. It's going to show map visualization, right? But also I can do, I need to drop something else, right? Perhaps I can drag and drop income. It's gonna summarize income by state right now. See, it's summarizing income by state. If I click here to take visualization, well, see, I can always edit what it does, right? I can always edit. If I'm not happy about what it shows, I can always edit. Like for example, I don't like income here. I can always remove my column, right? So here, location color. Oh, that was the location color. So I can add it back, right? I want location color to be income, right? Then I can add my points. Well, for example, monthly premium can be the points, right? So, oops, monthly premium. For some reason, oh, okay, there we go. I have to expand this. So see this, I can do this. I can add the point size, right? This monthly premium and location. It's gonna be the state, right? For each state, perhaps I want to show this little point. See, this is a grade point, and the point size, it shows the average monthly premium. See, I can do that. I can do it when stuff with this, right? And then I could also, if I wanted to, I could apply the filter. If I want to show only personal policy type for the small vehicle, I could apply it. Come on. Oops. I'll just drag and drop. So I believe sometimes some field could be conflicting. So that's why it's not. Because I created the data group. That's why. Because of the data group, I think. Anyways, so let's minimize that. And well, of course, I could change how legend appears. I could change the properties here, right? Such as adding title, well, etc. Right? Those are the chart properties. I could change. I could change that's as a points layer, and I can change the color code for my points, right? I can show them in a different color, perhaps, etc. Right? So I can modify how things appear. Okay, I'm gonna save this, minimize that, right? Oops, it's asking me to select the color code. Okay, save. Oh, no, I don't want to define new palette, so I'm gonna just click on cancel. I accidentally click on something, okay? So now I'll just gonna close it out. So see, that's a visualization. I created visualization just by drag and drop fields, right? Drag and drop fields. I can do that, or I can use my assistant. What else can I do here? Well, I can add the text. So here are the widgets, and this is a text. And for the text, I can type something like, I love data 610. And notice that the text has its own properties, right? Well, what are the text? What are the text properties? Well, you can make it bold. You can change the color code, right? You can change if it's centered or not, and see the properties appear here too, right? So you change the appearance. You can add the fill color, perhaps. Then you can add the border color. I'm just making it up, right? But you want to make sure that the text is readable. You don't want to have a white font color on a white background, right? It's just an example. You can add different shapes, right? I drag and drop the shape. What else can you do is you can add the images, right? But one thing to keep in mind is you cannot copy and paste the picture. You need to look for the image URL on the web, right? So for example, I want to look for the picture of car accident, right? I search for the car accident, and I want to search the images. Now I'm gonna pick this is the image, right? So I need to find the image URL. So let's see, let's click on this image, and I'm gonna just see, I'm just gonna visit it, right? I'm visit the site, but this image has URL. So let's see this copy image address. This is I copy image address. Now I'm going to double check to make sure that this image address, see, I'm gonna delete this piece here. I want this to be like this, GPG. See, so this is an image. So it has to be something like PNG or GPG. I copy this address. Now what I do, I go to my Cognos, right? I'm going to add the image. So this is an image. I drag and drop this image. Then over here, I need to paste the image URL and click enter. See, so this is the picture that I wanted to, correct? See, this is a picture. So right now, now we're gonna look at filters. So, but to make it better, let's move over this text. I can move my widgets if I want to. Let's put this on top of this. I can do this. And I'm gonna add another visualization here, okay? So let's go back to, I can go back to the first tab and I can copy visualizations that I have, like this one, right? So I take this, I selected this, and there should be an option to duplicate, right? If I don't see that option, another way I can do it is this. I can click here, right? And I can always pin this visualization, right? Let's minimize this. Oh, I see what I need to do. I need to close this out, and I need to close this out. It's gonna be much easier, right? So that's a visualization. I can minimize it. Let's select. Here it is. It shows here. Do you see this? I can duplicate, right? Here, I'll duplicate. Then I'm gonna take a copy. I can just do this. I can do cut, right? I can, or well, cut is not working. Let's try this. Let's drag and drop to the top two. See, I have top two highlighted. Drag and drop. Let's go back to the top two. Here it is. So now I'm just gonna move this here. Well, see this? This visualization shows something by state, right? And on the first tab, I have visualizations that show something by state. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you the filters. I'm gonna add state. I'm gonna filter all tabs by state. So I drag and drop the state here. Look at what I'm doing. I'm gonna select Iowa, Kansas, and Missouri. I selected only 3 states and I click OK. What do I expect to see? I expect all my visualizations to be filtered to display only those 3 states. This is the case here, right? And I see here the values that filter shows. See that? Now, if I go back to the second tab, same here. Do you see? The visualizations should be filtered to the state that I have selected. Why is that? It's because I applied the visualizations to all tabs, right? I've got 2 tabs and I applied visualizations to all tabs. Now what I'll do, I can delete my filter or I can just do this, undo, right? I undid it. I go back to tab 1 and I'm gonna do it again, but this time I'm gonna only filter this tab. See this? I selected this tab and I want to show only Oklahoma and Nebraska, right? And I click on OK. Let's see what happens. I applied the filter to this tab. See, Oklahoma and Nebraska. Now what I'll do, I'm gonna go to the second tab, but here somehow I see all states. That's because I applied my filter to the single tab only, all right? And what I forgot to do, save, see? All right, so that's the filter. I applied it to a single tab. Now I can undo. Right, I just undo. There we go. Remember, clear filter just removes the selection, and remove filter will remove filter altogether, right? So again, state, selecting just the candles, right? So here, when I click here, delete filter will just delete the filter, okay? I can do it like this to delete the filter, all right? Save. Let's go back to the slides. Let's see if I covered stuff. I covered the tab properties. I covered multiple ways to add visualizations, right? Then I covered this visualization library. I covered properties. Each visualization can have has different properties, right? And you can also select visualization, right? This is in the focus mode, right? And you can also pick related visualizations. For example, I want to change this to the stacked, I can do it, right? So that's what the slide is showing. It's showing different properties that you can have. If I want to, I can also repeat the rows and repeat columns, well, etc. There is a lot of what I can do, right? I can also see this, I have this visualization selected. I can see which data is being visualized. To see, this is average claim amount. See the state, average claim amount, and policy type group, right? Is corporate. Then I've got the personal, special, corporate, etc. See, for Kansas, that shows me all the states, average total claim amount, and that's a policy type group. That shows data being visualized. See, I selected another visualization that shows the number of customers. So if I want to look at the number of customers, I can look at the data being visualized. See, but the pie chart itself, in the properties, I want to show the percentages because that's the purpose of the pie chart, right? But if I hover, I see number of customers. And what I see here when I hover matches here, the data being visualized. And I can also preview the data without going back to data module. I can preview my whole data here, okay? Well, it's gonna take a little bit of time to load, so this is my data, okay? Data, this is the data being visualized in this visualization. All right. Well, I showed you the properties, right? The properties you see depend on visualization you have selected. I showed you the text. And I also have a video on how to add text. You can also add links to the web pages and the videos. And I'm showing you in the videos that I created. I showed you how to add an image, right? All visualizations are linked. So next topic is a visualization link. And what I did was I prepared something for you. So let's go back to the welcome page. I created, okay, so I don't see it in recents. So I need to go to my content. Oh, okay, I called it connection demo. So let's look at this here. Those are the visualizations that I have created, and I'm gonna unfilter it. Okay, I'm gonna unfilter it. Well, take a look at this. Right now, so this is a dashboard, right? And I'm looking at it in a view mode, which is fine. Take a look what I'm gonna do. And please trust me that I used the same data source to create this dashboard. Please trust me that I use the same data source here, okay? Now, what I'll do here, look at this. I'm selecting Missouri. All my data gets adjusted for Missouri, right? This is here, the bottom, the top, it gets adjusted for Missouri. right? So I can break it, right? Well, but see this now, I select Oklahoma. Both top and bottom got adjusted for the Oklahoma, okay? Now what I'll do, first I'm gonna go in the edit mode, right? Well, and you can see that. You can see that if I select this visualization, I can see what data is being visualized, right? Here, well, it's supposed to load. It's taking a little bit of time. It's taking its time to load. But what I'm trying to say is that all visualizations are connected because I use the same data source. I selected Kansas and all this data was adjusted for Kansas. Here, this is view widget connections. All of these 4 connections belong to the same group. What I can do is I can break it. How do I break it? I select this visualization and I can break the links. So now it's going to be by itself, right? Then I can select this visualization. I can break the links, or I can do this. I can add to existing connection, and I want to add it to connection 2. Well, take a look at what's going to happen right now. I unclick this, right? I unselect it. When I selected Kansas here, right, only at the top, I selected Kansas here, only the top visualization is adjusted. Bottom visualizations are not adjusted. I select Oklahoma here. Oops, I need to remove this filter. I accidentally selected vehicle class. Okay, I selected Oklahoma here. Only the bottom visualization got adjusted, right? The top one did not. Let's do this. So why do I want to do it? Sometimes I want to break connection because I want to compare this by the state. Does state have an impact on the total claim amount by vehicle class? Well, apparently it does. Take a look at the luxury cars. Average total claim amount seems to be smaller for luxury cars in Kansas than in Oklahoma, right? Apparently the state has an impact on the average total claim amount. Then take a look at probably the 4-door car does not make much difference, right? Some difference, but not significant. But for the luxury car, the difference, you also need to look at this. Oh, here it is, SUV. SUV, take a look at this, 2000. SUV makes a difference rather. You have to look at these units, see? SUV, I was wrong about this one. SUV, see this here, 1100? And if I look here, it's near 2000, see? For SUV, it makes a difference. For this one, it's about the same, right? Well, it's slightly bigger, slightly. But you need to look at the units. So see here, it's about 350. This one is it's slightly more than 400, so it does make a difference. You have to look, remember, take a look at this here, the scale. Okay, I forgot to look at the scale. But you can do this comparison side by side if you look at the states, see? Now, if I'm no longer interested to look at in a broken connection, what I could do is I can click on the widgets, right? And I can select this and I can do add to existing connection. I can add it back to the first, right? I can add it back to the first connection here and add to existing first, okay? So now when I select the state in here, well, I clicked on the Kansas. Oops, I forgot to unclick this. When I click on the Kansas, it's going to select Kansas across the board, okay? So that's a connection. So next topic, it's gonna be the story. Well, what I did for you is I prepared another dashboard. So let's close this out. Okay. So this one, let's see. I believe it's car insurance dashboard. So let's see. Let's open this one. Let's see what happens. Yes, it's this one. Well, see this? So this is a dashboard that I've created for you for the next demo. And on purpose, I put numbers 1, 2, 3. See this? Well, if I take it to the edit mode, what you see, this is just the text, right? This is just the text. And I modified the properties of that text. I just modified how it appears. See, I added the color, I changed the fill color, etc. What is this? This is the image, and that's an image URL, right? On the next one, what I did was I visualized the average total claim amount, and I wanted to do it by the claim reason. That's by the policy type, well, etc. Then what I did here, I've got different pie charts. I want to show the percentages of claims by state, percentage of customers by state. Then I did the percentage of claims by vehicle, etc. Right, by policy type, by the education, or maybe it's a claims. I need to check the aggregation. Well, this was my assignment 3, right? Where I did the data models. I put all these data models here. I want to reuse my decision tree and my sunburst, my a spiral model, my driver analysis. I want to reuse this, right? See, so now I need to see, somehow I dragged this visualization by accident. Okay, well, this is just the by location. I have different plots in here, stacked bar plots, etc. So see, if I look at the properties here, see this? This one is, I wanted to repeat, see this? So I just did the see color by employment status, and I wanted to repeat this by gender. See, separate plot per gender. You can do it like this. See this? This is a repeat row, and I did repeat row by gender. So that was my choice to do it. How many tabs? 5 tabs, right? Well, what are we missing here? The problem is here, well, I'm looking at the tabs, but there is no animation in between tabs. I cannot specify when things appear, disappear on the same tab, right? I just see it. Things are visible the whole time when I see the tab. There's no transition between the tabs. So what does it take us to? It takes us to the next topic. Next topic is a story. Story is a narrative. It's similar to PowerPoint animated presentation with visualization, right? Well, basically you present insights and you don't need to export the visualization from applications. And you may configure when objects appear, disappear. You may also add images and shapes. You can do it from scratch, but for you, I'll show you how to do this from the dashboard. Take a look what I'm gonna do right now. Well, this is my dashboard. I go here, I save it. I click here, and I'm gonna save this dashboard as a story. So for right now, I'm gonna select the slideshow layout. Slideshow layout, the main difference is that the scenes, right? The story consists of scenes. The scenes will appear on the same canvas. So that's a difference. I'm gonna select the slideshow, select. Now what I need to do, I need to specify where I save it, and I want to save it in the my content. I'm gonna keep it as default. So by default, it's going to take the name of the dashboard, right? And it's going to prefix it with story. But when you do this, please make sure that you're totally done with your dashboard, because any change that you make afterwards won't be copied to the story, right? It's not going to be applied to the story. So you have to make sure that you're totally done with your dashboard when you do it, okay? I was totally done with this dashboard. So right now I'm going to save and I want to open my story. Well, what do I see right now? I have 5 scenes. Each slide, each tab in a dashboard becomes the scene, right? So I need to plan it carefully, right? So if I want something to appear on the first scene, like this title, I have to make sure that it appears in my first tab of the story, right? Of the dashboard, sorry. Well, and what you could do here, see here, you could modify, you could change the properties. Changing the properties here has no impact on the dashboard. There is no connection, see? So I could go and I can change, see? So I selected this text. So now it shows me the properties of the text. Well, similar to what I showed you before, well, you can change colors and etc. So see, I changed the color. I just changed the color. And if I don't like the change, I can always undo and redo, right? I've got also the focus mode. See, this is I can change between edit mode and I can change between preview mode, right? Visualizations can be taken to the focus mode and I can change what's being visualized, right? Similar to the dashboard, I can apply the filter to all scene and I can apply the filter to a single scene. I could add another scene if I wanted to, right? So how do you add? Well, if I want to add to the end, I select the last scene, then I click on add scene. That will add a scene with default template, right? And templates can be modified. If I click here, this is a rename the scene, name the scene, duplicate and delete. I believe you can change the layout. But this will just open the scene timeline. But I'm gonna show you differently. Well, and to add visualizations, you can do the same that we did before. You can drag and drop pin visualization. You can add new visualization, right? You can use assistant. Now I want to delete this one. Okay, so here it is. Well, what I'm gonna do here, I selected the second one and I can click on this. This is a timeline. In a timeline, I can specify when things appear, disappear. By default, the length of a scene is 5 seconds. So see this 5 seconds. I can change it just by taking the edge, clicking on the edge and drag the edge. I can drag the edge to make my scene longer. And I can specify, for example, the second visualizations, I want it to appear after 2 seconds. So I can drag this. Well, see right now, I don't see it because I want this to appear after 2 seconds. So let's preview. Let's see what happens. If I minimize this timeline, right? If I minimize this and I want to preview the current scene. Well, so you see, well, right now, I see just these 3 graphs, these 3 plots. I hit play to preview. This will appear now. This 3 will disappear because I extended the timeline only for the first one. So see, you can specify the time when things appear, disappear. Next thing what you can do, I unselected all of this. visualizations. I click here. I want to play all scenes when I preview. Now what I want to do, I'm going to click on the properties. That is the properties of this whole story. I can specify the scene transition. For example, I want the sweep, right? So now what I'll do, I'm gonna play all my scenes. I'll save it first. I'll go to the view mode. I also need to go to the first scene. So now take a look at it. I'm playing. See what's gonna happen? That's a transition. I specify and see the visibility thing that we defined, but we didn't define it for other scenes. See, so I previewed. So that's a story, and I previewed my scenes, right? That's the last one. I played them. I did not say to repeat. I didn't say to replay from the beginning. There are two types of stories. There is a slideshow and there is a guided journey. So what's the difference? Guided journey, the scenes appear on the same canvas. I made a little error before. For the slideshow, the scenes are on different canvas. For the guided journey, it's on the same canvas. So you may configure both. You can configure when things appear, disappear, both applied filter and applied animation. So let's do the guided journey here. How do I do it? First, I need to get into edit mode. Then you don't select any visualizations because you want to see the properties of the story. I want to change this to guided journey. Then I want to select, I'll select this one, right? Well, so this is my guided journey. I selected it. Now what I'll do, I'll save it. And I'm gonna go back to the edit mode. Oops, not edit mode, preview mode. And I'm gonna hit play. Watch what's gonna happen. This is the first one. Now, do you see how it slides to the same canvas? I specify the appearance properties. There we go. There we go. And then the next one. And another one, see? Now, if I go back to the edit mode, you might be wondering, what else do I see in here? Over here, this one, it shows you all scenes, which is very convenient. I like that. Because when I need to submit the work for my grading, well, take a look what I can do. See this? I can take a screenshot of this. I love this type of guided journey because it's easier to submit a proof that I created the story. I take this and I'm probably gonna tweak the zoom a little bit, right? Then I will use any tools, right? Like here, and I can take the screenshot. I take the screenshot and I put the screenshot in my paper, right? I add the screenshot in my paper. All right? Well, makes sense? And of course, I can add scenes, etc. Another way to create the story, right? And you can also create the dashboard this way. You can go to new, you can click on story, right? I select the slideshow, I select create. Well, now the problem is I better specify the data because I did not specify the data source, right? Then I would have to click here, right? Claims and weather data module. And I would need to do this add, right? That's a data source. And I would have to add every single scene. I would have to redevelop it from scratch, right? Add a title, add visualizations, etc. I'm not gonna save it. I'll just close this out. you can do it this way, all right? But on the other hand, if you select create story from the context menu of the data of the data module, right? Then you're using the data module as a data source. You don't need to, you have one less thing to worry about, all right? That was the story, the transition style, and I spelled out the slideshow, I spelled out the interface here, different things that you can see. I put something about the scene timelines, right? Here are the steps to export dashboard as a story. Now, well, this is just shows you that each tab in your dashboard is going to be the scene in the story. All right. You also have some sample dashboards and sample stories. So I'm going back to the welcome page. I'll show you. If you go to the team content, you see the samples here. You've got sample stories. Remember, this is not something that you're going to turn in for your grade, but this is something if you're out of ideas, you can check this out. You can check out and you can just play. Those are the sample stories that you have, right? I'm gonna close this. I just showed you where that is. You can play around with this at your leisure. And well, that's a guided journey. See this? What it did was it edited to my recent. And if I want to remove it from recent, I just do remove from recent, right? Remember the difference between delete and remove from recent? You won't be able to delete, first of all, because that story is saved in a team content and you have run privilege for this. Last time I told you that you have read-only access, you actually have run access. Run access allows you, in addition to just opening and viewing the files, you can preview, you can play the dashboard, and you can play the story, you can preview it. So that's what run access gives you, all right? Next topic is gonna be assignment 5 is a group work. It's gonna be your last assignment, right? So after 4, remember this, assignment 4 is a continuation of 3, right? So if you go to the team content, right, go back to team content. Well, take a look at this. You have this data for assignments. You're gonna use the same data set for 4 that you used for 3. This is assignment 5. You have several choices. You have 5 choices of the data for assignment 5. The difference here is that you're going to be working as a group. So you want to look at that and you're going to select, you can look at it as a group and make one, you choose one, right? Let's just for today, let's assume that I choose cars.csv data. That data set has several options. You can analyze the car horsepower, or you can analyze the car efficiency on a city or on a highway road. There are 3 choices for the targets that I can choose, right? So perhaps I want to analyze the car efficiency in miles per gallon on a highway. Not just assume, okay? Also, let's assume that I was assigned to the group that I'm taking session 9080 and I'm sorry, 9040. There is no 9080 this time. I'm taking session 9040 and the professor put me in a group 1, right? Well, so what I have access to right now, I'm gonna see, I'll go back here, I'm gonna see this folder, assignment 5 group work, and I'm gonna see this is my enrollment semester, which is summer 2024, and this is gonna be the folder for my team. That's my session. How do you know the session? When you go to Leo, the session is at the top. At the very top in Leo, you're gonna see your session. There are only 2 sessions this summer. All right, so either 9040 or 9041. But this is my session, right? I'm not gonna see the folders for another session. I'm not gonna see the folders for another team. I'm only gonna see the folder for my team. And right now I don't have anything in there, right? So this is a folder for my team. So what you will do is in each team, you're gonna pick a leader. And what the leader will do is that you're gonna pick the data set. Once you pick the data set, you're gonna copy the data set into your group folder. So I need to go to the data for assignments. I need to go to assignment 5. This is a cars data. I have to click here and I'm gonna select copy or move, right? Well, this time I need to select the team. Here, the crumbs, they show me location where I'm currently at. I'm currently in the assignment 5 subfolder, right? So I'm clicking on the team content. I'm gonna go to assignment 5 group work, my enrollment semester. This is my team folder. And I'm going to select copy to, not move to, but copy to. If you accidentally select move to, you're gonna get an error because you don't have the right permission for this folder. You only have a right permission for your folder, your group folder, right? So now, when you go to the assignment 5 group work, your folder, you're gonna see the scars. You're gonna pick the team leader. Team leader is gonna copy this file, and team leader is gonna do something else. You're gonna click here and you're gonna do create data module. You must create data module and do all the data preparation in the data module, okay? Now what I'll do, I'm gonna just save it. So I'll click in here and I'm gonna do, you have to save it in a group folder, right? Because this is not your individual work, this is your group work. And I'm just gonna say something like cars data module, right? Well, this is gonna be my cars data module. Did I spell it wrong? Yes, I did. Okay, cars data module. I'm gonna do save. Well, what did I do? I just saved it, right? So right now, and I'm gonna close it. Always close it before you log off. Close everything that you have open, and I'm gonna show you something. I saved it, right? Well, right now I'm logged in as a demo 2, right? Well, if I go back and if I check my preferences, right? If I go to advanced in here and I go to my groups and roles, I'm gonna see that I'm a member of all authenticated user. That group, it just lets me log in. This is a group for assignment 5 that I have, right? And everyone, that means everyone in data 610. That one allows you to see the team folder, right? All this data set for this course, and also the group, not the group folders, the samples, okay? That's what that does. But this one is the group that you are assigned to, right? So that's data 610, your enrollment semester, your session, and the group number, right? That's how you know. And role, this is just in general because Cognos has multiple capabilities. We're using analytic users role, okay? Well, this is just that. So now please assume, well, not assume, but believe me that I have users demo 2 and demo 3, and both users are in the same study group. Please just remember this. I put demo 2 and demo 3 in the same study group. Right now, I'm logged in as demo 2. I'm gonna log in, I'm gonna log out, and I'm gonna log in as demo3 right now. So what I did was I signed out, and I'm gonna log in again, but this time I'm gonna log in as a demo3. Okay? I will log in, and what will I see? So this is my group mate. Well, this is a recent, right? But I need to go, I'm gonna go to the team content. Well, see this, I'm in the same group. Assignment 5 group work, my enrollment semester. I click on this folder, and those are the files that my teammate just copied. Now what I'll do, let's say I want to go, I use this data module, and I'm gonna create a data exploration. I'm creating the data exploration, right? Well, by default, it wants to analyze the car efficiency on city road. Let's just keep the default. But for this data set, you can also do the highway MPG, or you can do horsepower, just know. Okay, so I selected this one, and I want to add the driver analysis card. I'll just add the driver analysis. I'm not doing much. But what I want to do is I want to save the exploration. I click on save. I go to the team content, right? Well, assignment 5 group work, my enrollment semester. And I want to call it cars exploration, right? I'm gonna save it right now. I saved it, right? Well, and just to make sure, I go to preferences, and I'll show you in a personal. Do you see this advanced groups and roles? Do you see this? This guy here belongs to the same group, session 9040, team 1, right? We belong to the same group. So now I have to close it. Why do I have to close it? Because I still have it open. Then I'm gonna create some problems if my teammate tries to edit this. You can share files, but you cannot edit the same file at the same time. When you open it, you put a lock on it, right? So please be careful with that piece. Okay, so now I'm gonna log, well, I'll show you first. It's in the team content, right? Well, see, this is my folder for the team. I have 3 files now. Data modular, this is original data set, and this is a data exploration. Make sure that you don't delete the data, because data module will become invalid and exploration will become invalid. There is no way to fix it, okay? See, if I click on these properties here, properties, right? What is this? This is an ID, right? Every object that you have has a certain ID, including data. So your data module is looking for the scarce data set. It's looking for that specific ID of the cars, right? This exploration is looking for specific ID of this data module. All right. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna log out again and log back in as demo2. And what do I expect? I expect to see the I expect to see the data exploration that I just created, don't I? So let's do this. Let's log into demo2 again, right? And I expect to see the exploration in addition to this data module and data set. So I'm gonna go to team content. I go to assignment 5 group work. This is my semester. That's my folder. Well, do you see this? Well, I see this car explorations. You see? That's how you share files with your teammate. All right. So that. I spelled out how to save it. That was the assumption that I was in that team, right? This is a step to copy data to team folder. Remember, deletions cannot be undone because you're gonna break it. You're gonna break the dependencies, and that's it. Even if you upload the data with the same name, still, because it's looking for a file ID, it's not looking for the name. Okay. Now, another thing that you have to do is this. You will have to make a recording. You have to create a presentation for your assignment 5. Maybe, well, it's up to you. Maybe one person can record it, or 2 people can record it. I'm gonna leave it up to you, but it should be no more than 10 minutes. One thing you can do is you can create free Zoom account. One of you, pick one person who will create free Zoom account, and you just schedule the meeting with yourself and record to the cloud. After the meeting is over, let me show you what's gonna happen, right? I can use my account to show you what's gonna happen here. So I sign into Zoom, right? So this is, you're gonna go to meetings. You're gonna go to meetings and you're gonna schedule the meeting with yourself, right? You're gonna click on schedule meeting and schedule meeting with yourself. Then when you run the meeting, you're gonna record it to the cloud. In a free account, you're limited to 40 minutes, but trust me, you're not gonna make it. Your recording is not gonna be 40 minutes, okay? Because then you're off topic. It's gonna be 10 minutes and you're gonna basically present your key findings, all right? Now what you can do, once you're done the recording, you're gonna go here. That's a recording tab. This is where your recordings are gonna appear in the Zoom. Well, at the moment, this session is still recorded, right? Yesterday, I did the sentiment analysis session for data 650. So this is a recording. If I wanted to share this recording with Professor, I have several options. I can download my files and upload the file to YouTube, but you don't need to worry about appearing on YouTube. What you could do is this. You can click on share. You click on the share. Then this is a link that you need to copy, right? And then this is the passcode. You have to give your professor link and a passcode if there is a passcode. It depends on how you set up your account. You may set up without passcode or you may set up with passcode, but don't worry about others seeing your presentation, because what you will do is you will share. It's going to be on your Zoom account and you're going to share this link with your professor directly, okay? Well, I just showed you where to get this link, and I showed you where to get this passcode, right, if necessary. For this recording, it's still processing. What's gonna happen is that it depending on how long the recording is, sometimes you need to wait to see it, all right? Sometimes you need to wait for recording to finish process after the session, but I'm showing you where the recording is, all right? So, and I can download my files, which is what I usually do. I usually download and upload to YouTube, just in case, you know, because the channel, I ran the channel, so it's there, right? And I also will have a copy of the recording just in case something happens to my UMGC Zoom account, all right? Well, and that's where the meetings will appear, right? When you schedule the meeting with yourself, it's gonna appear here. You're just gonna record to the meeting to the cloud, and that's it, right? No more than 10 to 15 minutes. I believe it's no more than 10 minutes. You're just gonna play through the story and you're gonna present the key findings, okay? Well, I hope I make sense, right? That was about the deletion. Oh, that's an error. Sometimes when your teammate deletes the file and you attempt to access that file from recent, you're gonna get an error, no access, okay? If your teammate deletes the file. But what you want to do is you also want to save a copy of the work. You probably want to you want to work, mainly you want to do the work for assignment 5 in the team content, but just to be safe, you can save a copy to my content. You just want to be safe, right? It's better to be safe than sorry, as they say, okay? Well, I hope it makes sense, right? Do yourself a favor before you log out, make sure all files are closed, right? Okay. For the group project itself, that's gonna be going on. Group project starts in week 10, so hopefully by the end of week 9, your professor puts you in a groups, and he or she they're gonna email me the groups assignment, right? And what I'll do is I will assign you to the groups here accordingly. I will take care of it. That's an admin part that I have access on my admin account. So what I'll do, actually the groups, I already did the configuration. I plan ahead of time. The configuration is done. What is left to do is to actually assign you to those groups. I'll assign you to those groups. And the folder itself, the access is defined at the group level. So the groups are already there, the configuration is there, but what is not there is that I will need to assign you, okay? I don't know how many groups, so but if I just created 6, if there are more, I can always add another one, but I try to work ahead a little bit, and I try to be prepared, okay? Well, that's me. I'm getting into a habit of working ahead, all right? Trying to get, at least trying. So now I want to see what questions do you have for me? Anyone? Anybody has questions, because it's an opportunity to ask questions, and you know that your schoolmates may have the same questions, right? Anything you want me to go over? Let's take a look. So, oh, okay, no worries, Professor Moretos, no worries. Well, I I like to work ahead of time, so I created 6. So if there are 5, not a problem. Then nobody will be assigned to group 6. So if there are 6, then 6. If there is 7, I'll create one more. It's very easy. It's very easy to go ahead and copy. So it's simple. I try to be prepared, because I had to create the first group anyways for this demo, right? So why not to create all of them and just define in one setting? That's what I did. So like to be prepared. Yeah, go ahead and ask questions, folks. Please ask. If I cannot answer, then I'm gonna be, users able to interact with the stories. Oh yes, oh yes. And you notice, yes, there is a scroll bar if the visualization is too small to fit in the panel. Yes, you can interact. So I'm going to reopen my story, right? So this is a story, right? That's a story. Let's reopen this. I can interact with this, absolutely. But I set the time limit to 5 seconds. I could change it, right? I could change it. But see, so I look at this slide, I look at this thing, sorry. See, I could select just one state. Let's go back. See, so this is, I can go back. I don't know why it's not letting me go back. Come on. Okay, let's go to the edit mode. So see, I'm in the edit mode right now. I select this here, come on. Oh, I have to click here, sorry. So this is the claims data distribution, right? Oh, doesn't let me. Doesn't let me. I need to do the preview. I'll do the preview now. So see this, I can select one state and the same state will be selected in other. The same state is selected in other visualizations, right? I can select here, my other visualizations got filtered accordingly. So see, I'm interacting. Select one data point here, the same data point is selected. See, that's an interaction, right? See, I'm interacting, I'm selecting data point. So now what I did, see, it's filtered. I filtered it by the state here. I filtered it by education. I filtered by the vehicle class. So right now, all visualizations show for Iowa, for the college, and for vehicle classes, two-door vehicle. See, I can filter it. That's one way to interact. And I can unfilter it. I set the scene to 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds. So what I could do is I could edit it, right? I could edit it to more than 5 seconds and I can interact, yes. Well, I hope I answered the question. Did I answer the question? Those are interactive, yes. Of course. And I could interact with the tree, right? Which portions I see, minimize and collapse and etc. So I will let you play around with this. But you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Because I like Cognos Analytics application. So yes. Let me see questions, please, questions. And by the way, the important driver here is a vehicle type, right? That's an important driver. But when I uploaded this data set into Cognos 12, my driver analysis are completely different. So I'll have to look into that. We're going to be using Cognos 12 starting next semester. This semester is still 11, okay? So, yeah. And you can reuse the visualizations. You can also add widgets, whatever you like, okay? It's going to depend on you, all right? What you want to show in your story. If you want to challenge yourself, go for a challenge. And if you want to challenge yourself, right? So if you look at these data sets, team content, if you go to the data sets, for assignment 5, what you have in here, this is assignment 5. This data here, US News, that one, it predicts the college, is to predict the college graduation rate. Then you have a data set to predict the life expectancy. These two guys here have missing values. If you want to work with missing values, if your team wants to go for a challenge, you may select these two. Okay? Just know this. Yes, story is more than a dashboard. Correct, yes. So, well, you want to create the dashboard first. Then you export your dashboard as a story. But keep in mind that once you make changes, if you make changes to the story, it won't be applicable to the dashboard that you used to create a story. If you make change to the dashboard after you export it to the story, the change won't be applied to the story. So you want to do it when you're absolutely ready, okay? And this is how to cheat. You create dashboard first, maybe it's easier that way. Then you create a story from the dashboard, right? Then you're gonna do your presentation. I would recommend this. You have your team. One person is gonna be the team leader. Team leader is gonna copy the file to the group folder and do the data module. Another person, maybe designate another person to do the presentation, right? Maybe 1 or 2 people. It's very difficult when 5 people try to present the transitions as a challenge. Well, I know that because a few years ago, before pandemic, we were doing the presentation, the students, I was leading a group of students who were doing, we used Watson Analytics at the time instead of Cognos, and we were participating in a worldwide competition, in a global competition. We took second place 1 year and a first and third place in another year. So we had to record the presentation, and from experience, I saw what was going on when several students were presenting. We need to work on the transitions, and they're tough. So what worked well was to pick one person to do the presentation, okay? Another person might be working on a data exploration, on a data, in a data module. You want to divide the work, right? So maybe when you do the presentation part, perhaps you could have 5 scenes or 5 tabs in the dashboard, and each person is responsible for a tab. Well, I'm just giving you an example of how the work can be split, right? But trust me, from experience, for people doing the recording is difficult because of the transitions. It has to be smooth. You know what I'm saying. You could try it, but it's going to be hard. And trust me, you may need to record more than once, sometimes 2 or 3 times, and pick the best recording. All right? So 2 deliverables for assignment 5, paper and recording. You present your findings. It's not going to be more than 15 minutes. If it's more than 15 minutes, that you probably lost focus. All right? Any other questions, please? While I'm here. Anything you want to ask? Anything anyone want to add? Anything about Cognos? Anything? I talked for an hour and a half and I want to listen to anything. Nothing? It's hard to believe that there are no questions. Because now you're familiar with the application, right? Anything? Anyone? No? Well, if there, let me see the chat. Okay. Yeah, the dashboard is specific scene, right? Exactly. You pick the specific scene. Like and you can break it into the sub scene. Sure, and you and see how it is in mine. Well, you saw how it is in mine, right? In my dashboard, right? You saw it, how I broke it. See, you have to have some kind of a title, right? And a picture on the first one. Then here I'm just looking by average claim amount, and I'm looking by different variables, right? Different factors. Here I just want to see how my claims fall, right? By vehicle, by state, etc. Here I'm just looking at the I put it in the same slides, my driver analysis, my spiral, my decision tree, and sunburst. Probably if I was going to present, I would want to collapse, right? I would want to collapse this tree. I would focus on most dominant rules, etc. Okay? And this is just the averages by location. I did different visualizations here. So Caesars, you probably want to, it's a common theme, but I broke it down into the top subtopics. And I created this, and I've been reusing this in order to demonstrate how to do the stories, okay? Etc. All right? Anything else, Tim, folks? All right, most welcome, Professor Moreda. So you're gonna send me, you and another professor, Professor Wahi, you're gonna send me the group assignment, right? And I'm just gonna set it up. And for instructors, I let instructor have access to all groups in a session that they're teaching. Okay? Yes. So if there are no more questions, we're gonna end the recording. I'm gonna end the recording and I'm gonna